Hey everybody, it's Steve from steveszanella.com. How are you today? So I wanted to come on and make a video today and shed a little bit of light on part of my story that I don't really talk about all that much, and that is my physical transformation from where I was 11 years ago to where I am today. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and click on the little bell. That way you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. So I wanted to come on here today and talk about my physical transformation. If you follow the channel, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I talk a lot about my issues with anxiety and panic attacks and just my general inability to have self-worth and self-value for most of my life, and how I changed that relationship with myself and the type of impact it had on my life. And while the mental aspect of my transformation is something that I've shared a lot, I haven't really talked a lot about my physical transformation. So I want to share a picture of myself from 11 years ago. This was shortly after my daughter Lily was born. In this photo, so I'm about 5'8" on a good day. I'm not a super tall guy. And in this picture, I weighed about 265 pounds. I was pre-diabetic. I had fatty liver disease. I had been diagnosed with a cardiomyopathy, or an enlarged heart. Long story short, I was incredibly unhealthy, physically unhealthy. And at the time, I was just miserable. I was happy because we had just had our first daughter, and I was very excited about that prospect of being a dad, but I was also miserable at the same time because I hated who I was as a person. And like so many people who have these types of issues, I used food. I used food and alcohol as a coping mechanism. And with food, what would happen is I couldn't stop eating things. When I would eat something, it would taste good, and for that brief moment my brain would tell me that I was happy. And then as soon as I was done eating whatever it is that I was eating, I would feel guilty, and I would feel ashamed, and I would be angry with myself. Because I knew that I needed to lose weight. I knew that I was unhealthy. But it had reached a point where I just didn't care. I was so depressed, and I was so angry at myself for who I had become, that I would rather eat that donut or 3, or get that fast food order, or eat essentially whatever I wanted for takeout whenever I wanted it. Because while I was consuming it in that brief period of time, I felt that pain go away. And when you're hurting and when you're in pain, you will do whatever you can for a break from that pain. So for me, for many, many years, it was food. And I always struggled with my weight. And I was always athletic when I was younger, and I could get away with eating a little bit more. But even mostly through my 20s and through my 30s, I was painfully out of shape, dangerously out of shape. And the pictures like this are difficult for me to look at, because when I see that picture, I not only see someone who's unhealthy and overweight, I see someone who's hurting. I see someone who's in pain. For me, sharing the physical transformation is a way that I'm hoping that you guys can recognize it for what it is, which is somebody who recognized something was wrong and started to take action to change it. Because no matter what I tell you or anyone else tells you about food or health or spirituality or changing your life, if you don't put things into action, if you don't take the steps that you need to take every single day, you're never going to change your life. And I took small steps. I started taking very small steps. And it was difficult because for me, and I've talked about this before, I had made so many choices from such an unhealthy place that I really had to deconstruct my entire life to be able to put it all back together. And it was daunting. There were times where I knew where my life was going to have to go for me to get better, and it was so scary that I couldn't imagine going there. And it wasn't until I just kind of sucked it up and said, you know what, I have to. I don't have a choice. I have a child, and she deserves a great father. That means I have to become a great father. And that's what put me on that path, that I started to get my emotional state in order, my mental state in order, my physical state in order. I started figuring out the habits that I needed to change, and I started taking action. I started small. I started cutting out little things in my diet. I started adjusting the amount of food that I ate. And eventually I got to a point where, you know, I look at those pictures and I don't even recognize that guy. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy to look back and go, that's who I was. But I'm not that person anymore. You know, the things that you do not define the person that you are. You can always change your life. You can always make a new choice. Every morning you wake up, you have an opportunity to make a new choice. And you can. And it doesn't matter where you were yesterday or a week or a year ago. You can choose to be someone new. You can choose to take control of your life. You can choose to pick up that pen and rewrite your story because it's yours. You are in control of it. And if you get anything out of this video, please get this. You have so much more control over your life than you know, than you believe. And I hope that in seeing what I've done in my life and the things that I am doing, because this journey isn't over for me. I will be learning and experimenting and sharing and trying things until the day that I die, because the journey is not about getting to the end. It's about the process, and the process is always changing and always evolving, and hopefully we are always growing from that process. And that's the whole point of me sharing these videos and putting myself out there, because this isn't always easy for me. I'm going to be doing a video soon about dealing with negativity. I've been noticing an uptick in people seeing my videos, and with that comes an uptick in negativity and people criticizing something I'm saying or having a difference of opinion, or, you know, I've gotten some heat about doing videos while driving in the car, and, you know, it's hard for me to take criticism sometimes because it hits that insecure spot in myself that I'm, you know, that in many ways is still a wound that I'm trying to heal over time. But it's all part of that process. I'm putting myself out there so that I can experience these things and see how I handle them. Because you can't learn how to get up if you never get knocked down. If you never fail, you never learn how to succeed, because it's all connected. It's all part of it. And, you know, when I look at pictures of 11 years ago, I can physically see the transformation that's taken place. I can feel it, but seeing it is powerful. And that's why I wanted to share that with you today. Just put this out there, and I hope that, you know, you get something out of this. And please do me a favor, in the comment section below, write something about the journey that you're on. I really love to see who's watching this, what you're doing, what you're hoping to change in your life, and, you know, if there's something that I can do or something I can talk about to maybe help you on that journey. I really want to, because again, this is about a community. This is about us working together. You know, we're all in this together. Life is, we're here only for a temporary amount of time. And my hope is to have a positive impact on as many people as I can in the time that I'm here to do so. So that's it for me. Do me a favor. Like I said, hit the subscribe, comment below, give it a like, give it a share, give me a shout out, just say hey. I love hearing from everyone out there. So that's it. Until we talk again, and we will talk again, I hope you have an amazing day.